Hey guys, and welcome back. So for today's video, I thought it would be kind of fun to do a pretty much an almost full face on all drugstore makeup. So this is makeup that I haven't used before. It's either stuff that I've wanted to try and heard good things about, or it's just stuff that I kind of eyed while walking through the drugstore and thought, you know, that would be kind of interesting to try. I have bought a whole bag of goodies to try on camera for you guys. And this was not cheap. Even though it was drugstore, it did cost me over $120 Canadian. So with that being said, if you guys want to see how I like these products or how these products perform and how they wear, just keep on watching. So jumping right in, the very first product that I'm going to try today is going to be this L'Oreal Paris Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. So this is how it looks, and I've actually seen so many good reviews on this. I really wanted to try it, so I kind of held off and saved it for the making of this video. So this one is in the shade 405. It doesn't really have like a name, it's just kind of numbered, unless I literally cannot see it somewhere. So this foundation claimed that it is a 24-hour breathable texture wear. So I'm obviously not going to wear this for 24 hours, but we will see how it applies and works with everything else. Oh, and it does have a pump, which is very nice. I actually really do like pumps. I find it's like a little better than trying to like pour it or squeeze it out of the bottle. So I'm just going to put some of this on my Morphe Y7 foundation brush. And I'm just going to go in with 2 pumps. And I'm just going to start putting it all over my face. So this foundation looks like a really good match, but I did get a little bit burned over the weekend, my shoulders and a little bit of my neck area especially. So if it seems a little bit too light, it's because I got burned since I was picking up the shade, and I obviously didn't anticipate that to happen. So far this foundation is actually blending out really nicely. I'm actually just going to go back in with this Real Techniques beauty sponge, and I'm just going to squirt another pump on that and just kind of push everything else into my skin kind of as like a step 2. I just really kind of like doing this because I feel like sometimes the brush can leave a little bit of streaks. So if I go back in and kind of just push everything through, it just kind of makes everything look really flawless and non-streaky. Okay, so right off the bat, I actually really do like this foundation. It's kind of like a really good mixture of hydration and dewy. I would suggest staying away from this if you do suffer from any kind of oily skin, because like I said, it is kind of dewy and it is a little bit hydration. But with that being said, if you do have oily skin, I am not 100% sure that you would like this. It just kind of depends on how much dew you like with your skin, where it's already a little bit oily as is. But for me, I have like normal skin. I don't have oily or dry skin. I'm kind of just in between. So, and I really like dewy foundations and like stuff that's really hydrating. So I really like this. It's like a little more on the dewy side, but it gives a beautiful glow to the skin. Okay, so next up is concealer, and I've actually picked up the Covergirl trublend undercover concealer, and this one is in the shade L150 Porcelain. So it's this one right here with the black and white striped top. It has like a super large doe foot applicator. So this right off the bat reminds me of the Shape Tape. I probably would guess that this is kind of what they were going for because Shape Tape was so successful, and I like to blame part of that on the actual large doe foot applicator. So I'm just going to take some of this and I'm going to put it in all of the areas that I just want a little more coverage or a little more highlight to my face. And I actually don't wear an eye primer base, so I actually like to go in and put a little bit of concealer on my lids and then blend it out. And for me, that kind of acts as like a perfect eyeshadow base. So far, this looks pretty good. Let's just blend it out a little more with this same sponge. Okay, so that's pretty well blended out, and I must say, I really like this concealer. So it blended out really well. It sits on my skin really well. I feel like everything kind of just sunk right into my skin. Nothing is creasing up too much. And I really like the color, and it works really well with this foundation too. And it gave just the right brightness to my under eye and everywhere else that I put it. So I have to say that so far I really do like this concealer. So far this is definitely a win for me along with the foundation. Okay, so next up I'm kind of sad about because I did pick up a loose powder for baking under my eyes and whatnot. But as I just opened it, I'm going to show you guys. Look how yellow it is. It is so yellow. Like, I'm not sure if it's picking up in camera, but compared to, let's say, this Coty airspun translucent powder, it is like, I don't know if you can see, but it is like so much more yellow in color than this one. And I am a fair skinned person, so I can tell right off the bat that this is not going to work. I'm kind of sad about it because I didn't quite notice it. All I really looked at when I was picking it up was the shade 50 translucent. So I don't know who on earth decided that this was a translucent shade, but they're obviously colorblind because that is not the case whatsoever. So now I'm kind of left without a new powder to try for you guys, but I am going to kind of keep it drugstore-ish, so I'm actually going to go in with my Coty Airspun Loose Translucent Powder, and I am just going to be using the Morphe blender, and I'm going to dip into that, and I am just going to apply some of this under my eyes. And when I'm doing this, I do like to take it up the side of my nose because once I wipe that bake off and I put some bronzer on, it is going to kind of give me like an illusion of like a more slender nose. Not that I really need it because I really don't have a large nose, and I do like to put a little bit up on my forehead and also on my chin just to kind of balance out that softness that the powder kind of gives and also the brightening effect. So while that's kind of doing its thing, we are going to go in with brows. So unfortunately, when I was at the drugstore picking up all my makeup supplies, I did forget to pick up a brow product. So, just so I can do my brows, I am going to stick to something relatively cheap, and this is the BH Cosmetics Flawless Brow Trio, and this one is in the shade Light. So, I like to go in with that middle shade right here, so I'm just going to go in with like a no-name generic brush. I think this was from like the website My Brush Set, and this is just like a slanted brush that I like to use for powder. So I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna start filling out my brows. Okay, so brows are done, and don't worry if they look a little bit dark. They will look a little normal as we keep putting makeup on. So I'm just going to go ahead and wipe off that bake with a Morphe Y11 brush. Okay, so that is what it looks like with the bake off. Everything is nice and smooth and airbrush looking and brightened up. So now I'm actually going to go in with this bronzer that I've picked up. So this one is called the L'Oreal Paris Back to Bronze Gentle Matte Bronzing Powder, and I believe that this only comes in this one shade. So I'm just going to go in with my Morphe R1 brush, and I'm just going to dip into that and just start bronzing up my face. So I really like to bronze on my forehead. I find it just kind of ties everything together. Even though I don't really have like a problem forehead area, I just kind of like to bronze just to even out the color where I'm putting it on the rest of my face. I just find it looks a little more natural that way. And I do kind of like to bring it under my jawbone and a little bit down my neck. So I really like this bronzer color. I think it would work well for a ton of skin tones. And the good thing about this is that it is very buildable. So I'm just starting to kind of build mine up now, but it doesn't come off as very chalky or powdery or overly pigmented. So just to contour my nose just a little bit, I am going to go in with my Sigma Small contour brush. This is the F05 brush. And I'm not really contouring. I guess I'm just kind of bronzering my nose. But I do like to kind of swish it back and forth like this, just to give my nose a little bit of color so it doesn't look so flat and washed out. And if you applied a little bit too much like I just did there, you can go in with the same sponge that you used to blend everything out and just kind of tap it in a little bit. So yeah, I'm actually a fan of this bronzer. It was like not very expensive at all. As you can tell, it's L'Oreal, so it was literally from like the drugstore. And I think it gave a really nice bronze glow to the skin. It's very summery, and like I said, it does come with this one shade, so it is very universally flattering, especially for lighter or medium skin tones. So I think this is a beautiful bronzer. So far I've been lucky. Everything that I've tried I really liked. Everything except, of course, of this powder, which was a flop. But everything else is seeming to work really well and really well together, so let's just keep on going. Next, I'm going to go in with some blush, and I actually decided to pick up the Annabelle Perfect Blush. So this is what it looks like here. This one is in the shade Peony. And the reason why I was kind of really attracted to this one is I think because it was on sale for $5.99. But aside from that, it just looks very basic. So the packaging is like nothing special. It's very basic, minimal packaging actually. And it just kind of showcases the color. So I find this would be perfect for traveling. And it did come with some other shades also, but I really liked this shade, and let's give it a go. So I'm just gonna pop into this with my Sigma powder blush brush. This is the F10. So I'm just gonna pop into that, and there's not a lot of fallout, which is really nice, so it's not really that powdery. And I'm just going to brush them on my cheeks. So this is what the blush looks like, and once again, I actually really do like this blush. So guys, it may look a little bright right now, but as we all know, blush tends to fade, so I like to go a little bit heavier on my blush at first. But I really love this color, and I actually really love this blush. So I think that blush color looks really well paired with this bronzer. I really like it a lot. It sits well, it applies well on my skin, it looks pigmented, but yet it's really buildable, so it doesn't come off really strong at first. You can kind of choose the intensity of the shade, which I love. And yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this blush. I mean, for $5.99 for this Annabelle blush, I would totally recommend this right off the bat. No ifs, ands, or buts. So I was a little bit nervous trying to go into the drugstore and find an eyeshadow palette that I thought that I would like, or that I thought wouldn't be a waste of money, or something that looked interesting to me, but I actually found something. And this one is by the brand Essence, and it is called their Salut Paris eyeshadow palette. And the front of it looks just like this. And you guys wouldn't believe what I got this on sale for. It was actually on sale for $8 Canadian. I thought that it was like, I think the actual like normal price is $12 or $13, which still isn't bad for an eyeshadow palette. And it even comes with like a little mirror like right here. So that's like pretty impressive. And it does come with all of these shades. So the lighter shades might be a little bit harder to see in camera, but it does come with mostly mattes with 2 shimmer shades. So I'm just going to bring it up close a little bit. I know it's going to be hard to see because it's too bright, but you guys kind of get the idea. So I'm excited to kind of see what look that we can come up with today, because I am digging these colors. I really like the cool tone pinks and purpley colors. So I think for the first shade that I'm going to try, I am going to try one of these colors at the very end here. And one thing that I don't understand is that they look pretty much the same. Like, they don't look very different at all in terms of shade. Like, I can barely see a difference between them, so I'm not sure why they would stick those 2 colors together in the same palette. But I'm actually going to go in with my Sigma Tapered Blending E40 brush, and I'm going to tap into one of those shades, and I'm just going to see if that shows up on my lid, and it probably won't because it is really light. So I do notice that it does have quite a bit of kickback, but that's something that doesn't really bother me too much. So I think the shade that I'm going to go into now is going to be this one right here, the second from that very last brown color. So I'm going to dip in with the same brush, and I'm just going to pop that in the crease. So this color is actually showing up pretty well, and from what I can tell so far, it is pretty buildable, which is kind of what I'm doing now. I'm just building it up a little bit darker, going in with layer by layer with windshield-like motions. So now I'm going to go in with this more pinky purpley shade kind of below it, same brush, and I'm just going to pop that into the crease as well. So that actually looks really, really pretty and really good. So far I am pretty impressed by this palette. I mean, seriously, for like $8 at the drugstore, like, this is working really well. And even if it wasn't $8 and if it wasn't at the drugstore and it was like another palette that I've gotten from like Sephora or something, you would never be able to tell that this was a cheaper palette. Like, seriously, like, it's almost on par with any other normal, regular, kind of mid to high end palette out there. So that's pretty impressive. I think for the center of my lid, I am going to go in with this end, like kind of like a deeper plummy shimmery shade. So I'm just going to apply this with my fingertips, and I am going to not really take it further than the center of my lid, and I'm just going to kind of build that up a little bit, and I'm going to do the same for the other eye. So this is really pigmented. For like a shimmer especially, this is really impressive. So I think now I'm going to go in with a different finger, and I'm going to go in with the other shimmer shade that's right here, and I'm going to focus that on the inner corner of my eye. So again, these blend so nicely. Like, as you can see, I've only been using my fingertips, and it's like I don't even have to really do anything else. Like, these colors are so pretty also. Okay, so before we go any further, I do kind of want to do my lower lash line. So I'm actually going to take this first color that we used to transition, and I'm going to mix it with this one right here, the two kind of pinky shades, and I'm just going to do my lower lash line. And I'm using the Morphe E17 brush. Now I think I'm going to take this brown color right here at the very end, and I'm just going to stick with this brush, and I'm going to just kind of do a little bit in the outer corners, just to kind of give it a little bit of depth and just kind of blend everything into the edges. So I think I am going to go in with this lighter shade at the very bottom here, not those other two ones, but the pinky whiter shade, and I'm going to go in with my Morphe Y22 brush, and I'm just going to do my inner corners. And I'm going to do my brow bone as well, just to kind of brighten everything up a little bit. So the one thing that I wish that it had in this palette is like a darker, like a really dark brown or a black, so I could do eyeliner, because that's how I like to do eyeliner, is I like to use shadows, as you guys know if you frequently watch my channel. But I am going to use this just so we can stick with the same palette, and I'm going to go in with my Sigma small angled E65 brush. And I'm just going to dip into this like brownie shade here, and I'm just going to line my eyes just a little bit. I know it's not going to do too much because it is a lighter shade, but I'm going to try anyway. Okay, so that seems to be it for this eye palette. And actually, I know I can't say it enough, but I am super impressed by this, you guys. Like, literally $8. Like, they have other like ones too, like this one is the Paris one, but they have a couple other ones as well, and I feel really tempted to go pick them up for $8. Like, seriously, this is so good. If you're looking for like an affordable drugstore eyeshadow palette, look no further than these guys by Essence, and you will not be disappointed, I promise you. So now it's time for mascara, and I'm actually kind of nervous about this as well, because as you guys know, I am super picky over mascara, and I only really have two favorites, one from the drugstore and one that's kind of high end. And I don't know, like I'm super picky, so we're gonna see how this goes. But this one is the Rimmel Scandalize Retro Glam Mascara in the shade Extreme Black, and this is how it looks like here. So it does claim to plump and fan out lashes for a bold, wide-eyed look. So we're gonna give this a go. I'm just gonna open it up. It kind of has like this hourglass wand, and it is like a chunkier wand, which I kind of appreciate in a mascara. So I'm just gonna go in with the first coat of mascara. Whew, it's really dark really quick. That's kind of how the first coat looks on one eye, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other. I'm just gonna dip back in and go in with a second coat. So they actually do spread out your lashes, and I'm not sure if I'm really like a huge fan of my lashes kind of being all spread out. I find when they do that it looks a little spidery, and I kind of like the look where your lashes are more voluptuous and more together than kind of all spread out. But aside from that, this isn't a bad mascara. I'm gonna go ahead and do my bottom lashes. So this is kind of what that mascara looks like, and as you can see, they do look really spread out and kind of like doll lashes, so to speak. But do I like this mascara? I think it's nice, but am I going to replace my favorites and probably always use this? Definitely not. But if you are into the fanned out eyelashes, and it actually did give me some good length, so if you are a fan of those two things, then you might really like this mascara. So I would encourage you to go give it a go if you do. So before I go in with lipstick and highlighter, I do kind of want to finish off this look by using some false eyelashes, and it's an excuse to practice to get better at them because I'm really not the best at fake eyelashes at all. But I'm going to be using my favorites, and these are by Ardell, and it's the Faux Mink Wispy lashes. They're already opened. They're just here in front of me ready to be glued. So I'm going to go in with these guys. I believe that they are $9.99 from Walmart, Canadian. So that's not too bad considering that you can get multiple uses out of them. So I'm just going to go apply these with some glue, and I will be right back. So lashes are on, and they actually gave me such a hard time. I almost ripped them off and was like, no, we're not doing lashes, but I stuck with it and I got them on as best as I could. A little bit of clumpy areas from the mascara, not really working well with the lashes, so I will never be using that mascara with false lashes again. I did pick up this L'Oreal Color Rich lipstick in the shade Tickled Pink 165, and it's in this gold packaging like this, and it does kind of have like a frosty-ish finish. And this is the shade right here. So like my favorite shade for lipstick is definitely pink. Okay, so I think that the shade will match the look really well. So here's hoping. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this lipstick. So this is the lipstick shade, what it looks like when it's on, and it does look like a little bit like blue toned for me, like a little bit purpley, so I kind of have to get used to that because the shade that kind of matches this the best that I have would be Snob by MAC. So this is like a little bit different. It's like a little more purpley versus that like really bright kind of baby pink. So I am gonna kind of just keep it on and see if I can like adjust to that color. It does match the look really well. I am gonna go in with some highlighter, and the one that I picked up is by Milani. So this is their Afterglow Strobelight Instant Glow Powder. So this is in the shade 01 Afterglow. So that's what it looks like here. So I'm going to go in with my trusty highlighter brush, the Sigma High Cheekbone Highlighter F03 brush. So I'm just going to dust into this and apply some to my cheekbones. And oh my goodness, that is insanely pigmented. I didn't think it would be like that stroby. I'm just gonna put it everywhere that I normally put highlighter, so that way I can see how it wears, like how I wear it every day. And usually I can't see highlighter like in my videos too much because like it's something about like the camera or the lighting that doesn't pick it up. But I have to say, like, I can actually see that in like the viewfinder like so well in my camera. So I'm sure you guys can see it as well. So this one is definitely a glowy highlighter. Like, oh my gosh. Like, yeah, that is like so impressive for a drugstore highlighter. Like, this is insane. So if you're looking for that really glowy, you know, like super pigmented but non-chalky highlighter, this will be your best friend. So the very last thing that I have to try from the drugstore is actually this L'Oreal Lumi Shake and Glow Dew Mist Setting Spray. So I have seen this as being a dupe for the Tatcha Dewy Skin Mist, and I have used the Tatcha Dewy Skin Mist once or twice, but it wasn't mine. It was like a friend of mine and she let me try it. So I kind of do know how that feels like and how it looks like on the skin. So I will be very interested to see how this guy looks as well, and if it actually does give me like a dewy glow. I'm just gonna spray a couple of sprays on my face. Oh my goodness, like the spray is so fine that like you can't even feel it hit your face, which is like amazing. I'm assuming it did hit my face. I'm just gonna do it one more time just in case. I've never felt like a spray bottle in like a mist as fine as this one, and that's really great, so you don't get like these big globs of everything. So that actually did give me like a really nice glowy finish. So I'm actually super impressed by this. Do I think it's as glowy and dewy as the Tatcha Dewy Skin Mist? No, because that almost made my face feel wet. But I do think that this is definitely the closest thing, especially at the drugstore. And I kind of do like the fact that it doesn't overload your face with moisture and that it's not too heavy. So I would definitely recommend this one right here. Okay guys, so this is the finished look that I came up with from pretty much mostly everything from the drugstore. Like I said, the only thing that I didn't use from this drugstore haul was this yellow powder that obviously wouldn't have worked out, and I forgot brow products, so I did use the BH Cosmetics Brow Trio instead. But aside from that, I tried everything else that I've gotten, and nothing I do not like. So like I love everything that I got. I'm gonna be using everything. Like nothing is non-usable for me. Like every single thing would be like an everyday staple. Like I really liked this concealer, and I'm definitely going to be using this foundation again. Both worked really well for me. I also really love the blush and the bronzer. Both worked super well together. Both were really affordable, and again from the drugstore. And this palette, you guys, I know I'm like bombarding you with this palette, but seriously, for like $8 to $12, whatever you get it for, whether it be on sale or not, this is such a good drugstore palette. And like I said, they do come with other shades, like different shade palettes, so I would definitely go give them a go if you really want an affordable but really good drugstore eyeshadow palette. I really love this highlighter. Like I said, I haven't seen like a bright glowy highlighter like this, especially from the drugstore, so I am a huge fan of this. And of course the Dewy Skin Mist, or actually the Shake and Glow Dew Mist. I really love this. This is great for summertime. I think it's going to give you like a really nice summer glow wherever you go. And it also says that you can prime and hydrate, set, or refresh. So you can just pop this in your purse or your beach bag and away you go. You are set for the day. The only thing that I tried that I wasn't really completely sold on was this mascara. But as you guys know, once again, I am super picky when it comes to mascara. If you guys like the fanned out really lengthening mascara, you guys will really like this one. So again, this is the Rimmel Scandalize Retro Glam Mascara. And this lipstick shade is actually growing on me. It kind of really does tie into the look really well. It's like the same kind of purpley pinky tones. So yeah guys, that finishes this video of my drugstore makeup haul and a try-on video. So I hope that you found some things that kind of interest you, or if you were wondering how it wears, how it looks, all that kind of fun stuff. So thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more by me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I am so grateful for all of you so far who are supporting me and subscribing to my channel. And until next time, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!